ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。
Well, before we do anything... Oh, we don't have... Never mind. Good day to you is the standard greeting used here. No matter how many years pass by, this style of greeting still feels very awkward. Even though I'd responded to the greeting in order to stifle that awkward feeling, the classmate who had spoken looked at me blankly.
Eh? なに違うわよね。
Their choice of words and manner were certainly what you'd expect from a school for rich girls, but the actual meaning was as innocent and cruel as you'd expect from kids of that age. It seems that they found it funny that I'd mistakenly thought the greeting was directed at me. No, it might be the opposite. Maybe they didn't know how to react after being suddenly greeted by a gloomy, quiet kid like me. Now, judging by the gazes of my classmates who were looking this way over their shoulders and whispering to each other, it looked as though some of them considered this refreshing morning ruined. I was dark, because I was disliked, so trying not to get in the way of everyone's refreshing morning anymore, I stooped lower and entered the classroom. Almost like I was cutting through the aisle in a movie theater while the movie was running. This is an all-dorm school, St. Lucia Academy. It's not a school that anyone can get into by taking a test. It's a hidden rich girls' school, known of only by a select group of celebrities from various fields. For lofty nobles who truly wish their daughters could be raised like saints, this is probably the ideal school in which to protect them from the impurities of the common world. But at the same time, it was probably also convenient for nobles who wanted to confine daughters they didn't want out in public. As well as an academy isolated from the impurities of the common world, it also held excellent potential as a prison school. I was truly among the latter, and was confined in St. Lucia Academy, forced to live my life in dreariness. Of course, there weren't many students like me, and you couldn't tell us apart at a glance. However, even if we never fessed up about it, you could usually figure out who were being watched by how we act. Or who we were by watching how we act. After all, we were always hanging our heads with an expression on our faces as though the whole world had abandoned us. Anyway, every class had one or two kids that, so even if they didn't speak up about it, every class had one or two kids like that, so even if they didn't speak up about it, you could guess who they were. Therefore, even though I never confessed that I was one of those kids, at some point, everyone in my class knew about it. Just like how the seriousness of an injury becomes a sign of status in a hospital room, how noble a birth one had became a sign of status here. Those girls who couldn't be acknowledged in public were probably nothing more than filth to the others. They must have thought that getting involved with such students would dirty them as well. When a rumor sprang up about a particular student, those fastidious girls would always grow cold and distant, chasing that student out of all social groups. Thanks to that, I led a quiet school life like this, all by myself. Well, that's only if hearing people whisper behind my back, finding my things lost or broken all the time, and having everyone pretend like they didn't know anything, can be called a quiet school life. Even this early in the morning, I must look worn out. I can almost understand why my other classmates, who had a refreshing morning, looked at my face and wanted to click their tongues. Consciously trying to do as I should and avoid tainting my classmates' morning, I quietly took my seat. Then, unusually, someone came to talk to me. It was the class leader.
ごきげんよう、白宮さん。朝からご機嫌斜めなご様子ね。ちゃんと睡眠は取られてる？何かご用ですか？学年発表会のアンケート、まだ提出してないの。 後宮さんだけよ。昨日までが提出日だったの、お忘れ？
I'm pretty sure I heard something about that last week, but I thought that the questionnaire hadn't been passed out yet. The details would be written there, so there shouldn't have been any need to remember them beforehand.
アンケート用紙もらってないですけど。
そんなはずありませんよ。寮長から全員にちゃんと配布されてるはずです。なくしてしまったならそうと素直におっしゃればいいのに。
なくしました。今すぐ書きますから。用紙をいただけますか？
Again. Either someone lost my sheet or they intentionally didn't tell me about it. But I have no way of knowing who was behind that. In the end, treating it as though it was my own carelessness would settle everything more quickly.
書いたらご自身で生徒会室のアンケートポストに投函されるように。うちのクラスだけですよ。夕べまでに全員のが揃わなかったのは。
As I hung my head at the class leader's scolding, I could hear the giggles and whispers of people watching, coming from no direction in particular. Yoshida Miya-san did it again. She's just so careless. She doesn't deserve to be in this school. She has no dignity, and no manners either. Sorry, girls, but I've dealt with much worse when it comes to unfair personal attacks. As I froze my heart and let those arrows of ridicule pass by, I quickly filled out the questionnaire. When I learned that father and mother and Oni-chan and all the rest of my family had died, I was at the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. The only survivor of that accident was Ushidamiya Eva. Only Aunt Eva. Even at the time, I hadn't really liked Aunt Eva. At a glance, she would act kindly, but even as young as I was, I could see that she was somehow making fun of father and the rest, and I hadn't liked it. So when it was decided that Aunt Eva would take care of me, I was pretty miserable. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered if that gentle Uncle Hideyoshi and George Oni-chan had been with me, but I hated the thought of living all alone with Aunt Eva. I'd frankly said that to Grandpa, hoping to live together in his house. However, Aunt Eva had been very insistent that she should be the one to look after me. She had no desire to remarry, so as her successor, I was essential if the Yoshidamiya family was to continue. Aunt Eva felt very strongly about the family. She insisted that she take charge of me right away so that she could give me an education and lifestyle fitting for a successor. After that, it seems that confusing negotiations with lawyers took place, but in the end I was forced to go live with Aunt Eva. After doing that, Aunt Eva told me something. You must bear all the glory and history of the Yoshidamiya family. And in order to make you a fitting successor to bear that, the rest of your life will be dedicated to frantic studying. Sacrifice the rest of your life for the Yoshidamiya family. That's what she said. At first, I thought she meant that literally, but I quickly realized that wasn't the case. Because even now, in Aunt Eva's eyes, the one most fitting to succeed her was the late George Oni-chan. At our first meal together, I received strict instructions and questioning about table manners, and was forced to listen to her abuse Mom and Dad as though they'd been neglectful in their discipline. I also received the same strict instructions regarding manners at my first party, and my clumsiness had been disparaged in front of everybody, forcing me to endure insults to Mom and Dad as well. After that repeated over and over, I eventually began to understand. Aunt Eva didn't really want to make me her successor. She thought George Oni-chan was the only one who was truly suited to be her successor, and she couldn't forgive the fact that it was to be me instead. So she insulted me in front of lots of people. She humiliated me, and she made it known exactly how I was inferior to George Oni-chan to both acquaintances and strangers. surely in place of a memorial service for her dead son, or rather, she must still be mourning his death. However, that wasn't something that I could endure. I couldn't possibly live together with Aunt Ava. I was kept like a pet, my life continually compared with her dead son's. I understood that even when I was still in elementary school. I tried to escape the Yoshidamiya house and run off to the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. However, Aunt Ava had already foreseen that. No, thinking back on it, she might have lured me into escaping. I was caught by the guards and brought back. And for being a coward who had smeared the Yoshidamiya family crest with mud and tried to throw it away, in a way that makes my whole body shake and shiver just remembering it, I was punished. How should I describe what Aunt Ava was like when she punished me? In a frenzy, gleeful. I saw the anger and sadness of losing her beloved son, as well as the hatred and pain from me stealing that inheritance from the son who should have received it. And the dark pleasure at being able to let those feelings out on me. I was hit with all those negative emotions at once. Then all of my free time and freedom to act was stolen, and I was put under surveillance around the clock. I may have lived in a gorgeous mansion, dressed in expensive clothes, but my heart and my dignity had been trampled upon, and I was the Ushidamiya family's slave, its cattle. Compared to that lifestyle, the derisive laughter of my classmates here was calm and pleasant. It caused my heart no trouble. After burying almost all the fields of my questionnaire with nothing in particular, I folded it and put it in my pocket. Because if I left it in my desk, it might disappear again. During lunch break, after dropping it off at the post box in the student council room, I finished lunch by myself as usual and headed behind the school building where no one could be seen. Only my time by myself could protect me from the derisive laughter and gossip. Since I was hated and didn't have a single friend, my time alone was the most kind to me. After checking the surrounding bushes to see whether some malicious classmates were hiding and threatening my time of quiet, I finally relaxed the tension from my entire body, knowing that I had gained some true peace. Then, I let out a sigh. It faltered, heavy, as though it was the first time I had breathed out today. My old favorite place behind the vegetable garden storehouse had been found out by my classmates and I'd been teased, so this was my new lunchtime hideaway. There was nowhere to sit behind the school building. As I crouched near the wall in the shadow of the bushes, I opened my bag and took out a book with an elaborate old-fashioned binding. Just glancing at it, you'd probably think it was a religious book or something written in the Middle Ages. But this wasn't a book, it was a diary. Of course, it wasn't my diary. There weren't any special things worth writing about in my daily life. Every single day was just gray, cold and dry. In those completely unchanging days, there aren't any changes worth writing down. This was the diary of Maria One-chan, a girl I'd been very close to. She'd been a bit strange and 3 years older than me, but One-chan was always a warm, wonderful cousin. She would always grab me by the hand and let me join in on some fun game. I remembered that being able to see her was the most fun part of our family gatherings. When I opened the diary, the characters, which were made fairly skillfully considering that this was an elementary schooler, were packed close together, though they were written on every other line. Was she just hopelessly obsessed with jotting everything down in her diary? Probably not. To her, writing her daily life down in a diary was probably like having a conversation with another part of herself. So rather than an object on which the events of her day were written down, Maria One-chan's diary was written like a letter to another part of herself, telling of the events of that day. I found this diary among her belongings after her death, and secretly took it home. At first I'd felt that reading someone else's diary might be boorish, and satisfied myself with just keeping it by my side, but I couldn't help flipping through the pages and reading through it bit by bit. And by now, she had become my only friend. I gently opened to the page with the bookmark.
マリアお姉ちゃん、お待たせ。また、お姉ちゃんのお話を聞かせて。
At the same time, a very, very soft breeze blew, tickling the paper. I thought the open diary might have sparkled faintly. The weather's good today. Maria One-chan loves the wonderful rays of sunlight, so I'm sure she's in a good mood. On the pages of the open diary, no, in the world of the diary, Maria One-chan showed herself. I'm pretty sure she was 9 when she died, so her form was already younger than me. But I call her One-chan, so she affectionately calls me Ange.
Oh, Ange, 今日は来るのが遅かった。お昼混んでた？
うん、いつも混んでるわ。仲良しグループたちが席を陣取ってる上に、食事を終えた後も席を塞ぎ続けてるから。食堂に行くのが遅くなると致命的ね。今日は片付けの当番だったから。
マリア、ご飯食べるの早い。早く食べ終わるとその分いっぱい遊べるな。
Maybe she realized I was holding a grudge because that duty had been forced upon me, and shortened my lunch break by a bit. Maria One-chan brightly changed the subject. Grateful for that act of kindness, I responded by saying I was a slow eater. Maria calmed me down, saying something about teaching me the trick to eating fast. I read about it in her diary. No, I heard it from Maria One-chan. She was ranked number 1 among the girls in the speed-eating ranking for her grades newspaper. She was apparently very proud of that, but a little disappointed that her mother, Aunt Rosa, hadn't praised her very much for it.
じゃあ今日のお話を始めるね。昨日はどこまでお話をしたかな？お？
ここまでよ。マリアお姉ちゃんが作太郎をプレゼントしてもらったところまで。作太郎の話を聞かせてくれる約束になってたわ。
作太郎のこと話すよ。作太郎はね、とっても可愛いぬいぐるみなの。エンジェもきっと気に入るよ。
うん、そのお話を聞かせて。マリアお姉ちゃんにお話を聞かせてもらえる昼休みだけが学校で一番心を許せる時間だもの。
マリア話す。作太郎はね、
When I looked at Maria One-chan, who was always in a good mood, it made my heart feel warm as well. As I listened to her tale, I began to get absorbed into her world.
Happy birthday, マリア。ごめんね、帰りが遅くなって。
ママもお仕事お疲れ様。マリア、ママが忙しいの知ってるから遅くなっても泣かないで待ってた。おとなしくテレビ見て待ってた。
I wonder if these are actual things that happened, or if it's like Maria writing what she wished happened instead of like the miserable life that she actually has. I don't know.
うん。マリアは偉いわね。
Because this does not sound like Rosa.
お行儀よく待ってたご褒美に、今日は何でも好きなものを注文していいわよ。もちろん、食べきれる分だけだけどね。
今日はコーンスープをオニオングラタンスープに変えてもいい？
ええ、いいわよ。
200円高くなるけど、プロシュートピッツァに変えてもいい？
ええ、いいわよ。本当に食べられるならね。でもいっか、誕生日だしね。ちゃんとお行儀よく待ってたいい子のマリアにご褒美もないとね。
じゃあデザートにエンチェラードチーズケーキもつけていい？あとね、シェフの気まぐれフルーツサラダにキッズフライドポテト、メロンソーダも飲みたい。マリアはいい子、マリアはいい子。ママに褒められた。
ちょっとはしゃぎすぎよ。もう少し静かにしないと他のお客さんに迷惑よ。
See, that sounds more like Rosa. When Rosa gently admonished her, Maria stuck her tongue out and eased up a little. But it seemed that she was having a hard time repressing her excitement at being able to eat out with her mother after such a long time. Today was Maria's birthday. Rosa always tried to let Maria spend her birthdays at great restaurants. When Maria had been in kindergarten, they sometimes invited other kids from the neighborhood over and had a party at home. Rosa would make a wonderful cake and snacks and decorate the house herself, making it a huge celebration. But when they moved and Maria no longer had friends in the neighborhood, Rosa had started splurging at expensive restaurants instead. However, today they were in a normal family restaurant. It was also a little late in the day for a kid like Maria to eat there, even with a parent. Actually, she had gotten reservations at a fantastic place that surely would have pleased Maria. Of course, she had also prepared a wonderful cake with Maria's name written on it. But Rosa just hadn't been able to finish up her business and had been forced to cancel. Since that plan had been traded for a local family restaurant, Rosa felt a little indebted to Maria. You know, this does kind of sound pretty plausible. I'm willing to believe this. Then it might not just be Maria's delusions or anything. It sounds like it might be something that could realistically happen. And I mean, I'm sure that Rosa at least treated Maria well on her birthday, if nothing else. So she was prepared to spoil Maria a bit and let her have whatever she wanted tonight.
マリアお姉ちゃんってあんまり食べないんじゃなかった？こんなに頼んで大丈夫なの？
あんまり食べられないけど、いっぱい並ぶのが好きなの。お誕生日のテーブルはね、赤、青、緑に黄色、いっぱい色とりどりだと幸せになれるの。
そうね。お誕生日のテーブルってカラフルだと幸せな気持ちになれるわね。うちの誕生日はマリアお姉ちゃんのところにはだいぶ負けるけど、駅前のケーキ屋さんで買ってくるケーキがいつもとても華やかだったっけ？
You know, like, when Anchir is, like, envious of Maria, you know she's had a hard life. Also, I think it goes without saying that the Maria here is nothing but a figment of Ange's imagination, like, constructed from the Maria that she imagines from the diary. Also, let's check, yeah, no, we still don't have a bio for Ange. Ange thought back to her own birthdays nostalgically. Even though Dad was busy, he sometimes came home just to show up at my birthday party, and then went right back to his company. At the time, I was sad, but now I understand how important I was to Dad. Of course, Mom also took very good care of me. In particular, her birthday presents were always in excellent taste, and she sometimes arranged for them several months in advance. Even though we always sent an invitation to Battler Oni-chan, he didn't get along with Dad or something, so he kept not coming. So when he did come, I was really happy. The birthday parties, when the whole 4-person family gathered, made for fun memories that I'll never forget.
エンジェのお誕生日もとても楽しそうだね。バトラとルドルフおじさんがすごく賑やか。ワイワイキャッキャ。あ、バトラコーラかけられてる。
Mario Nechan peeked into my happy memory as I sat quietly wearing the origami helmet that Dad had made for fun. I was a little embarrassed. In my hand was a paper gun that Battler Oni-chan had folded for me, and Mom was taking a commemorative photo. It was the happiest moment of my life.
でもマリアお姉ちゃんの誕生日だって負けてないよ。それで今日もらえるんでしょ、サク太郎は。
すっごく楽しみだった。ママのカバンの脇にあるプレゼントの包みを早く見せてもらえないかなとずっとワクワクしてた。
Sakutaro is the name of a stuffed animal that Maria was to receive that day. For quite some time before then, Aunt Rosa had been making a stuffed animal to give Maria as a present today. Hearing that it was a cute lion stuffed animal, Maria One-chan had already given it the name Sakutaro, even though she hadn't received it yet. Oh, is it that lion? I think we've seen it. It's not in this picture, but we've seen it before, haven't we? Hold on. No, she's not carrying it in that either. I know I've seen that, though. Today, she was looking forward to meeting Sakutaro, even more than her own birthday. Aunt Rosa ran a clothing design company. It seemed to be some kind of brand name. What was it? Auntie Rosa? It seemed their catchphrase was, "I can't forgive the me of yesterday." Unfortunately, I've never met someone who knew of that brand name. Maybe it wasn't that famous. So, Aunt Rosa was pretty skilled with her hands. I heard that she made some of the clothing she wore herself, so making a stuffed animal had to be well within her capabilities.
手作りのぬいぐるみなんてちょっと素敵。ところでサク太郎って名前どういう意味でつけたの？
本当はさくらってつけたかった。でもオスライオンのぬいぐるみだから男の子の名前にしなさいって言われたの。だから男の子っぽく太郎を加えてさく太郎。最後の「う」はいつの間にかなくなっちゃった。
なんでさくらなの？
テレビアニメの主人公の名前。
It was the name of the main character in a TV anime that was popular at the time. The fact that she'd simply borrowed the names of a character she liked was, how should I say it, as innocent and cute as you'd expect from someone that age.
Mama!
I'm surprised they didn't have to censor the name. Although I guess they changed it a bit to like Card Master Sakura instead of Card Captor Sakura.
サク太郎まだ。サク太郎も一緒にお誕生日混ぜてあげたい。
プレゼントはいつも最後でしょ。今広げると汚しちゃうわよ。食事が終わるまで我慢しなさい。
じゃあ早く食事を終わらせ。
Interesting, so she knew about it beforehand. Maybe she saw Rosa working on it a bunch? Or she'd already decided on the name beforehand. I don't know. As soon as she proclaimed that, she started tearing into her meal. Aunt Rosa got mad at her, saying that was rude. It seemed that she'd expected this would happen right away. I also thought that, given how straightforward Maria was, that was probably what she'd do, so it was kind of pleasant when my expectations weren't betrayed. In the end, Aunt Rosa lost to her daughter's eyes, which were sparkling with anticipation, cleaned up the table, and took out the long-awaited wrapped present.
ハッピーバースデーマリアなかなか時間が取れなくてあまり上手に作れなかったんだけど
ママの手作りなら何でも嬉しいサクタラ
Aunt Rosa spoke a bit humbly, but Maria One-chan was happy even before opening the wrapping. I could really understand that feeling. It's not a problem of quality. Just the fact that it was a handmade present was more pleasing than anything.
開けてもいい？開けてもいい？
本当はお家に帰ってからに、ちょっとだけよ。ちょっと見て挨拶したら一度しまうのよ。ちゃんと挨拶するのはお家に帰ってからにするのよ。ここはお外なんだからはしゃいじゃダメよ。約束できる？
約束するする。だから開けてもいい？ママ、開けてもいい？
はいはい、ちょっとだけよ。
Before Aunt Rosa finished talking, Maria started unwrapping it. Huh, this isn't the one that I remember seeing. Unless it's been really beat up. I don't know. I feel like I remember seeing a different one. Maybe I'm just completely I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely losing that memory. I think it was when Maria died, actually. She was holding something like this. I'd have to go back and look at it, but yeah. It doesn't look exactly like this, though. As soon as she did, yellow and orange peeked out. What appeared was a slightly blank-looking lion stuffed animal, with cute round eyes and a white chest. It was about the size of a small pillow. It looked pretty big next to someone as short as Maria One-chan, but it probably wasn't that large. From the perspective of someone who didn't know better, it would probably look like something cheap, bought from a department store or something. But to Maria One-chan, it was her mother's handmade stuffed animal, the only one of its kind in the world, and irreplaceable.
マリアに元気がない時には励ましてくれて、マリアが元気な時は一緒にいっぱい遊んでくれるの。だからマリアはもう寂しくなんかない。ママが仕事で忙しくて一人ぼっちでも寂しくないし、学校で誰も遊んでくれなくても全然寂しくないの。ねえ、さくたら、プリュー。
At school, Mario Onechan had lived in the same kind of environment as I did. Compared to the other kids in her class, Mario Onechan's tempo was always a little slow. Her sensibilities and ways of viewing things were a little peculiar, and a little too idiosyncratic for her to blend in. Her grades were low as well, and since she was talkative about everything related to the occult, her specialty, she was treated like a weirdo by everyone else in class. If you were touched by Mario Onechan, you'd be cursed, stuff like that. Apparently, everyone in her class acted like she was disgusting, made fun of her, and avoided her. If a boy bumped into Mario Onechan, he'd start rubbing that part against the other boys as if he'd gotten some scum on him. They'd pick up her stuff like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. It seems the girls thought even speaking to her was unpleasant, so they ignored her all the time, only giggling and sneering at her whenever she made a mistake.
いじめっていつの時代も似たようなものなのね。人間ってほんと進化しないの。滅べばいいの。
マリアはいじめられて悲しいけど、でも仕方ないと思うの。
仕方ない？どうして？
だってクラスには一人いじめられっ子がいないといけないってルールなんだもん。
最低なルールね。それを作ったやつの後頭部をレンガで殴ってやりたいわ。もちろん角で。
もしもマリアがいなくなったら、きっとマリアの代わりに新しい誰かが新しいいじめられっ子に選ばれる。マリアが我慢することで、マリアはその子をかばってあげられるの。
No, that's not really how it works. Nothing's stopping someone from being bullied just because someone else is. As she said that, she smiled faintly. Mario Onechan's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her, from the beginning, a witch had resided in that place called a school. No, she says that any place where a lot of people gather will have a witch residing there. The witch tries to steal the students' souls through death by disease or accidents. Apparently, she sometimes also corrupts those souls, leading them down the path of evil. She says that an angel came, not content to let that continue.
天使様はね、魔女をやっつけようとした。でも魔女は強大で、戦いは7日7番に及んだんだけど、それでも決着しなかった。疲れ切った魔女は休戦しようと言ってこう提案したの。
前に聞いたわ。私はこれまでクラスの生徒の半分を病気にしたり怪我をさせたりしてきました。でもその代わりに残りの半分の生徒は病気と怪我から守ってきました。だからもしもクラスの一人を私への生贄に、その他全員の生徒をだったっけ？
天使様は考えたの。クラスの半分が不幸になることに比べたら、クラスの一人だけが不幸になることの方がずっといい。それに魔女はその強力な力で他全員の生徒の安全を守ってくれるという。
クラスに40人の生徒がいるとして、20人の犠牲者が1人に減って19人が助かるというわけね。実に合理的な提案。
I wonder if there's some theme behind this fairy tale. If it's a creation by Mario Onechan, a 9-year-old girl, that'd be pretty impressive.
天使様はその提案を飲むことにした。
The angel decided to accept that proposal.
だから一人の生贄によって19人は救われた。だからマリアの役割は大切なの。魔女は19人を守ってる。
私たちが生贄になることによってその19人に感謝された覚えはないけれど。
Maria Onechan's idea was too compassionate. Both of us are suffering from a very similar type of misfortune. And yet, maybe a small difference in our way of thinking changes how peaceful our hearts are.
それでマリアお姉ちゃんは悲しくないの？
悲しくなんかないよ。だってこれからはサク太郎が一緒だもんね。サク太郎。うりゅう、マリアと一緒なら僕も元気。ほら、サク太郎も元気って言ってるよ。
Maria Onechan hugged the Sakutaro stuffed animal, played both sides of the conversation herself. I don't understand it, but that's exactly why I want to reach Maria Onechan's level. So I was intensely drawn to her tale and her words.
エンジェは一人ぼっちだから辛い？
辛いわ。でもマリアお姉ちゃんとこうしていられる時間だけは別。一人ぼっちじゃないから。
ならサク太郎もお友達になればもっと楽しくなるよ。じゃあ今日からサク太郎もエンジェの新しいお友達だよ。ね、サク太郎。フリュウ、僕エンジェのお友達？フリュウ、エンジェ。
Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maria Onechan expressed Sakutaro's emotions. She was controlling him, but the charming way he waved his short hand and cocked his head to the side made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakutaro. Of course, looking at it with cold eyes, it would only appear that Maria Onechan was comforting me when I was grumpy. But a soul had definitely been sent into that stuffed animal. The soul of Maria Onechan's love. So I acknowledged the existence of a being called Sakutaro inside that stuffed animal.
ほら、エンジェもサク太郎に挨拶して。ほら、サク太郎もご挨拶。うりゅう？エンジェ、怖い人？
As Sakutaro timidly looked at me, he unexpectedly met my gaze and hid behind Maria Onechan's back in surprise. Maria Onechan really is good at playing with stuffed animals.
大丈夫だよ、サク太郎。エンジェは怖くないよ。とっても優しい女の子だよ。どうも、サク太郎です。ウリュウ。
はじめまして、サク太郎。エンジェよ。新しいお友達になれて嬉しいわ。
I held out my hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakutaro's short hand was stuck out toward me, lightly touching my index finger. After all, when a human and a stuffed animal shake hands, their sizes are too different. This greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake.
これでもうエンジェとサク太郎はお友達だよ。一人よりは二人、二人よりは三人の方がもっと楽しいよ。うりゅう。
Maria Onechan had given the name Sakutaro to the stuffed animal she was to receive on her birthday, and had warmed and expanded his existence in her heart for a long, long time. Therefore, even before she met him, his existence was sublimated into a personality. Even at the first moment they met, they were already friends. Of course, that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maria One-chan's eyes, although I don't think she'd personified and loved anything quite as much as Sakutaro. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them just like friends or beloved pets. Maybe Aunt Rosa hadn't let her keep a pet at some point in time, so she felt like treasuring objects instead. And maybe she was so isolated that she had been forced to find a friend nearby. Because of all that, what happened that day wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Even so, Sakutaro... No, maybe I should call it Sakutaro like Maria One-chan. There's no doubt that Sakutaro was a stuffed animal. No, a friend, whom she loved more than anything, or anyone. It was already about 9 at night. Rosa had asked because this wasn't a good time to have a friend over, and she'd been just a little surprised. But when she thought about it, Maria didn't have any friends who would come over to play, did she? Even so, to think she'd have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal. Rosa was very pleased that Maria had liked her birthday present so much.
ごめんね。ママ、どうしても仕事が片付かなくて。来期のラインナップが難航してるの。ようやく少しずつ注目され始めたみたいで、なんとかここで期待に応えられるインパクトを与えたいのよ。
今夜もお泊まり？いいよ。頑張ってママ。
そうありがとうねマリア。ママのお仕事のことを分かってくれてありがとう。
Rosa was surprised that Maria had accepted so easily that she wouldn't be able to come home from work. To Rosa, having to tell Maria that she'd be coming home late or staying overnight was a huge burden. Maria would start crying about how lonely she was on the other end of the phone, and it took a lot of time and effort to calm her down. To think that Maria would accept it in such high spirits. Is this also thanks to Sakutaro? Rosa was once again pleased that she'd given her daughter such a good present.
明日のこの時間には帰れるようにするわ。明日は一緒に夕食をとりましょう。マリアは夕食はまだよね。コンビニでお弁当を買ってきて食べてね。お菓子はダメよ。ジュースもダメよ。お釣りと一緒にレシートも入れておくのよ。わかった？
サクタロとお買い物、サクタロとお買い物。
あ、こら、サクタロはダメよ。お留守番させなさい。
From Maria's manner of speech, Rosa got the feeling that Maria might have gone shopping with that stuffed animal without her knowing about it. Rosa's forehead creased, and after sourly saying that Maria definitely mustn't do that, she hung up.
サクタロとお買い物、ダメだってママに言われた。ウリュウ、マリアとお買い物に行けない。
I definitely recognize that, or those pumpkin things. That's pretty much the only thing I recognize out of all this stuff.
一人でお留守番、寂しい。なんでママ、サクタロとお買い物行っちゃダメなんて言うんだろう。おー。ウリュウ。恥ずかしい？なんで？ママはよく僕を外に連れて行っちゃいけないって言うし、マリアのことをよくもう何歳になったんだからダメとかそういう言い方をするし。マリアはサクタロと一緒で全然恥ずかしくないよ。僕はライオンだけどぬいぐるみだし。ライオンでぬいぐるみだけどマリアのお友達だよ。だ だから一緒にお出かけしよう。ママがいない時だけ内緒で。お、ひょっとしてサク太郎も恥ずかしい？僕は恥ずかしくないけど、ウリュウ、ちょっとお外の人が怖い。
So this is just a vague memory, but I feel like the lion doll that I remember seeing Maria have had like one of its eyes falling out, and it looked a little damaged. So I'm wondering if maybe part of the story is that Maria is gonna go out with Sakutaro, and then she's gonna lose it, and it's gonna get damaged or something, and Rosa's gonna get really mad at her.
そっか。じゃあサク太郎が怖くなくて一緒にお出かけできるようにする。マリアに任せて。便利なのがあるの。
Maria started fishing around her messy room. Rosa often told her to clean it up, but Maria apparently didn't like doing it. However, Maria herself knew more or less where everything was. So much so that if it were to be cleaned up, she would have trouble finding where anything was.
後から見てサク太郎。ラップザック。
Maria proudly held it up high. Sakutaro looked at the knapsack, which was gaping open, squirming as though saying, "Are you serious?"
ウリュウ、マリア、もしかして。これなら一緒にお買い物に行けるし、サク太郎も怖くないよ。
Maria held Sakutaro up and started stuffing him into the knapsack. At first, she tried to stick him in head first, but then he'd be upside down and suffocate. So she pulled him out and tried pushing him in again, feet first.
ウリュウ、きつい、狭い、暗い。ウリュウ。ほら、大丈夫だよ。頭を出せば狭くないし暗くないから怖くないよ。景色もいいよ。ウリュウ、本当だ。これならマリアと一緒にお買い物に行っても大丈夫？大丈夫だよ。今日のお夕食は何がいいかな。さあさあ、お出かけしよう、サク太郎。
マリアお姉ちゃん、楽しそう。
とっても楽しい。一人だったら寂しくてつまらないことでも、サク太郎が一緒なら何でも楽しい。どんな人間のお友達だって夕方になったらお家へ帰らなきゃならない。でもサク太郎は帰らないし、いつまでも一緒にいてくれる。一緒にテレビも見るし、お布団の中だって一緒だし、雷が怖い夜には手だって握っていてくれる。クローゼットやベッドの下のお化けだって追っ払ってくれるんだよ。サク太郎頼もしい。ウリュウ、マリアを怖がらせるお化けは僕ライオンだから勇気を出して追い払っちゃうよ。ウリュウ、ガオー。
They were so close that it made me a little envious. I'm supposedly older now than Mario One-chan was then, but Mario One-chan really is my One-chan, and I still haven't reached her level. If only I had a friend close by like Sakutaro.
マリアもサク太郎もエンジェの身近なお友達だよ。いつもマリアたちはエンジェのすぐそばにいる。でもエンジェの魔法が弱いから、こうしてマリアの日記を開かないと知覚できないだけ。
知覚？マリアお姉ちゃんは難しい言葉を知ってるね。
According to her, this world is full of magic and spirits. And there is natural and nearby is a light breeze.
風って普段は気にもしないし見えもしないけれど。
Huh. Maybe this is what it means when it says that she understands magic but can reject it. So it's like she she has a familiarity with all of this because she's seen, like, she's read Maria's diary, which is probably filled to the brim with, like, all sorts of magical knowledge. But then she also can understand that she's, like, reading this diary that was written by a 9-year-old girl, and that she's, like, able to look at it from a detached view, sort of like that.
お線香の煙とかがたなびくと、それを見ることができるんじゃない？
そうね。そしてそれは見えなくても普段から私たちの身近にあるものだわ。
そういうこと。マリアもサクタロもいつだってエンジェのすぐ近くで一緒なんだよ。神様や精霊、守護霊も私たちのすぐ身近にいるの。でも意識しないと存在を感じられない。目では見えない風のように。でもそれは確実に私たちの身近にあって、魔力という煙がたなびけば誰にだって見えるものなの。
I thought I'd only be able to meet Maria and Eitan while this diary was open. But from what she says, she's always with me, and I could meet her at any time if I truly desire
マリア
to.
は自分の日記に日々の記録と一緒に自分の魂のかけらを残しておいたの。
I wonder if there's any reason whatsoever for the word fragment here being capitalized. If that has to do with the other fragments, or if it's just, the translators capitalizing it for no reason.
だからこの日記にはマリアの魔法の力が宿ってるの。でもそれはとても微弱なもので、エンジェ以外の人には誰も感じ取れない。
私にだけはわかるの？
だってエンジェはマリアと同じで魔女の力を宿しているもの。エンジェだってちゃんとお勉強すればきっと将来立派な魔女になれるんだよ。
魔女、それは楽しいのかしら？
楽しいよ。そうすれば日記を開かなくてもマリアやサクタロがいつも身近にいるのがわかるようになるよ。そしたら毎日がとっても楽しくなる。そしたらエンジェにマリアは他にもたくさんのお友達を紹介できるよ。そしたら毎日が忙しくてとっても賑やかになるよ。
それは楽しいかもしれない。マリアお姉ちゃんが残した魔導書も持ってるわ。今度真面目に読んでみるわね。そしたら私もかな。
Maria Onechan and Sakutado said that at the same time, happy that I had developed an interest in the world of witches. With her knapsack on her back and half of Sakutado's face peeking out of it, she triumphantly walked through the shopping district late at night. Well, it was that time of day, after all. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering the shutters on their shops, or an employee rushing or else staggering on their way home. Amidst all that, Maria, who was in a good mood like someone on a hike, probably looked quite merry. Every once in a while, passing employees would glance at her back with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at the cute stuffed animal poking its head out of the knapsack. The supermarket had been closed for a while by this time. However, convenience stores, which had been growing in popularity lately, stayed open until midnight. It was very convenient for Maria, whose mother's return was often late. Maria lowered the knapsack from her back, and carrying it like a child in her arms, she headed over to the sweet buns corner. She points to a sweet bun she had eaten before, explaining to Sakutado that this one was delicious and that one was pretty good too. Sakutado seemed to be enjoying it a lot.
マリアは3色パンにする。これ一つでね、あんことクリームといちごジャムが食べられるの。でもたまにウグイスあんだったり白あんだったりするの。あんこ は一種類でいい。うりゅう、いろいろ入ってて面白そう。うりゅう。あとはマリアはフルーツヨーグルトにする。フルーツ入ってるけどお菓子じゃないよね。うん、きっとママも大丈夫。サクタルもどれか欲しい？うりゅう？いいの？お金は大丈夫？うん、全然平気。ほら、だからサクタルにも好きなものを買ってあげられるよ。一緒に食べよう。サクタルもヨーグルト食べる？
When Maria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt, Sakutaro bent his head slightly, worried.
でも、僕、大きいのは食べられないから小さいのでいい。おお、じゃあ、この小さいお菓子ヨーグルトは30円だね。安い。うりゅ、僕はそれでいい。マリアと一緒にヨーグルト。サクタルと一緒にヨーグルト。
Maria put the 3-colored bread and the 2 yogurts into a shopping basket and brought them to the register. The man running the register had been in charge of the tobacco shop that had been here until last year.
この時間によく見かけるね。偉いけど、今度からこの時間のお買い物にはお母さんと一緒においでね。
ママがいいって言ったから大丈夫。ママはいつもお仕事で帰りが遅いけど、マリアたちは寂しくなんかないの。ね、サクタロウ。うりゅう。
そっか、そりゃ大変だね。ほら、ジュースを1本おまけしてあげるよ。
The man working at the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register and packed it into the bag with everything else.
おじさん、ありがとう。
Oh god, I hope Rosa doesn't think she, like, shoplifted it and then, like, scolds her for that or something.
よかったね、サクタロウ。うりゅう。
Since she had been told not to buy soda, she couldn't take it back home. So she decided to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can back home. With the vinyl bag with the sweet bun in it around her elbow, holding the knapsack with Sakutaro in it, with the same arm and drinking her soda, the two of them walked home.
柚子胡椒ソーダって微妙。サクタロウも飲んでみる？うりゅう？うりゅう、うりゅう、うりゅう、うりゅう。わあ、うりゅう。マリアひどい。まじゅい。だよね。
Of course, it's not like she could actually make a stuffed animal drink soda, so she just put the can to Sakutaro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. But it was fun for Maria to share the taste of this weird drink that she had gotten for free with Sakutaro. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, that moon had been clouded by tears when she'd been unmanageable during Rosa's overnight stays, and when she'd been scolded by her mother. But this moon was very warm, and it seemed to watch over the two of them as they enjoyed their trip home by themselves. Maria and Sakutaro, and watched the two of them go from behind. She looked so warm from behind. After looking at the backs of Maria One-chan and Sakutaro together, it became very hard to remember all those long nights when she had cried because her mother hadn't come home. I couldn't say it to Maria One-chan, but if I'd been in the same position, I may have given a stuffed animal the name Sakutaro, but it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a relationship that only distracts you from your loneliness, but Maria One-chan was different. Sakutaro isn't a stuffed animal or a toy. He was a real friend, and far from just distracting Maria from her loneliness, he changed the nights without her mother into a fun time when they could play all by themselves. Was it because Sakutaro was a special stuffed animal? Because her mother had made it herself? because it was very, very cute. Probably not. If there's a secret here, it doesn't lie within Sakutaro. I think it probably lies within Mario Onee-chan.
おう、魔法を知るということは、今まですぐそばにいたのに気づけなかったたくさんの友達に気づけるということ。まるで新しいおもちゃ屋さんが近所にたくさんできるみたいに楽しいこと。
If even I, locked up in an academy without a single friend, had power like Mario Onee-chan, I wonder if I could make my days just a bit richer. I wonder if I'll be able to honestly shed tears on nights I feel like crying, to smile on gray nights.
できるよ。エンジェはできる。だってエンジェにだって魔女になれる資格があるもん。
魔女になる資格。
マリアも魔女になれる資格あるんだよ。
I wonder if it's because of all this that she was even qualified to accept the what would you call it? The successorship of Beatrice in the first place. Like, maybe if she hadn't had this experience with reading Maria's diary and all that, maybe she never would have, like, she never would have been able to see Baron Castle in the first place, and the whole, like, possibility of even like Baron Castle coming to get her would not even be possible, like, because she wouldn't have the wavelength to see her or something.
だからまだまだ勉強中の修行中なの。きっと素敵な魔女になってほうきでお空をかけてケーンで虹を描いて飴玉を空から降らせるの。マリアはきっとできるよ。そしたらエンジェにも見せてあげるね。きっとそれは素敵な夢の中のような光景だから。
Mario Onee-chan said that, making an absolute promise with her smile. There's no way I can become a witch, but if Mario Onee-chan says that, it makes me feel that maybe I really can become a witch. Because, in reality, on that desolate night when no flower of a smile could possibly have bloomed, her magic surely gave birth to a smile.
魔女になれるかな。
なれるよ。エンジェは少し年齢を重ねちゃったから魂が少し重力に惹かれちゃってる。だからマリアよりも修行は大変かもしれないけど、でもきっとなれるよ。だってもうエンジェは魔法の一端に触れてるもの。
私が魔法を？
うん。だってほら、もうこの世にはいない私をこうして呼び出して語らっているよ。
これは魔法なの？
うん。私が日記に残した魂のかけらをエンジェは魔法で膨らませて私を蘇らせてる。
Okay, now I definitely feel that that's intentionally capitalized, and that maybe this may actually give some insight into what that whole fragment thing even means. Because if it's like some kind of like mental perception thing, it's really hard to like put all this into words, but like it's giving me vague ideas of what it might mean. Anyway, apparently, it has something. It's like something, a concept that's explained way more in Higurashi at some point. So I'll be reading that eventually at some point after Umineko, but I'm still gonna speculate on what it might mean while I'm based on the information that's given to us in Umineko. So there's that.
さっきも言ったよね。こうして私と再会して会話ができて時に笑顔を見せられるんだから、エンジェは魔法の才能がきっとあるんだよ。マリアお姉ちゃんが保証する。うん。
お姉ちゃんはさっき言ったわ。私は日記を開いた時にしか会えないと思ってるけど、本当はいつも身近にいるって。私に魔法の力がもっとあれば、それを見て、今こうしているようにお姉ちゃんと会話ができる？いつでも？
いつでもお話できるよ。朝のおはようの時だっていつもそばにいるし、授業中だってそばにいる。退屈な授業は私とお話しして気を紛らわせようよ。食事の時には話し相手になれるし、お昼休みだってこれまでのようにいつも一緒にいようよ。放課後だって一緒にいるし、もちろん寮に帰ってからだって私はいつもそばにいる。日記を広げた時にしか私を見てくれないだけ。
日記を閉じてもマリアお姉ちゃんはいてくれるんだよね。
いるよ。だからエンジェが私を見ようとして、そして話そうとしてくれれば、私はきっと答えられるよ。しっかりと見て話そうとしてくれれば。
私やってみる。
簡単じゃないよ。いきなり上手くなんてきっといかないよ。
分かってる。きっと簡単じゃないと思う。でも私マリアお姉ちゃんみたいになりたい。
おお、わかった。じゃあ私をよく見て。しっかり見て。ゆっくり目を閉じたり開いたりして。いきなり長くつむっちゃダメ。私の姿を瞳に焼き付けては、それをまぶたの裏に染み込ませていくつもりで。
やってる。
まぶたを閉じても私をイメージできるようになったら、そのままゆっくり柔らかく目を閉じていて。どう？まだ私が見えている？
多分見えてると思う。
じゃあ一度目を開いて。いよいよ本番。心を落ち着けたら日記を閉じて。その時一度マリアの姿は消えてしまうかもしれない。でも焦らずに心を落ち着けて。そしてまぶたの裏に染み込ませた私を逆に瞳に染み込ませていくつもりで、ゆっくりと虚空に私をイメージして、私を虚空に見て。
大丈夫。じゃあ閉じるね。日記。
おう。
Slowly, I closed it. When I did so, a gray reality filled with dull air unfolded. Of course, Mario and Achan's form disappeared. Give it all you've got. Have courage. Take the first step into the world of witches. I felt like Mario and Achan was cheering me on inside my heart. She's cheering me on, really. Or do I just think that she is? No, that's wrong. It's because I think this that I cannot see her. Maria Nechan is always by my side, and even now she's definitely there, cheering me on to do my best. That reached my ears. So I mustn't ignore it like it's my imagination or the voice of my own heart. I believe that Maria Nechan is there. I mustn't doubt. I believe. One-chan said she'd always be by my side. I must not doubt that. But looking at that empty space by the empty back wall of the school building, amidst those almost heartlessly boring rays of sunlight, calling out her name was unexpectedly difficult. The chains of common sense that had clung to me until today sneered at me, telling me that calling out to the empty air was ridiculous. It was almost like being told to take a step forward off the roof of a skyscraper overlooking a sea of lights. Yeah, I see what they did there. It's Mario Nechan saying it. It's alright. She's saying that I'm someone who can do it. Stop thinking that you might fall or that it'd be foolish to take a step off a roof, and free yourself from those chains of common sense. Well, that gave a lot more meaning to that scene at the end of the episode 4, or episode 3. I steadied my breathing. I concentrated my mind. Make the vivid form of Mario Nechan in the empty space before you rise to the surface. Understand magic and see Mario Nechan.
Maria, お姉ちゃん。誰かいるの?
At that time, I was answered by a rustle in the bushes and a wild cry, and I came to my senses. It looked like I wasn't the only one behind the school building. No. Since I'd been so immersed in the world of the diary, I hadn't noticed someone coming. I recognized a group of 3 beyond the bushes. They were kids from my class. From their appearance, it felt as though they'd come behind the school building to gossip about someone or talk in secret. I hurried out of that place. Because if it became known that I'd been alone in a place like this, mumbling to myself, it'd become a pain again.
言ったよね。言ったよね。マリアお姉ちゃんとか言ったよね。
やばくない？心霊とか見えちゃってんじゃないの？あれ。
I could hear the shrill, loud laughter from behind. Irritated and feeling that Maria Nechan had been made fun of, I left that place at a quick pace, and then a jog once I turned the corner. And I might have made it to Nechan's world with just a little more time. It was frustrating, aggravating. Why does everyone get in my way? I haven't gotten in anyone else's way, not even once. I ran and ran, but it still felt as though I could hear their shrill laughter.
噂じゃあ、エンジちゃん。あんた、ビルのてっぺんから飛び降りたんだって？
Huh. So this is actually after that? Interesting.
追っかけがうざかったんで、ちょっと巻こうと思って。
Ange and an old gentleman wearing an expensive suit were alone in a massive modern conference room. All of the newest machines for presentations were installed there, but they didn't upset its refined and composed atmosphere, and that alone was enough to make the business-like theme of the room abundantly clear. However, that didn't matter at all to Ange. She carelessly sat on a high-class chair that executives making a salary of several 10 million yen probably sat in, looking aloof from the world.
下の方の階で改装工事してて、転落防止ネットがあるの知ってましたし。
Ange talked about it like it was no big deal, but in reality, it had been a miracle among miracles. To think that she'd shot through several layers of safety netting for the remodeling project. been caught in a multicolored banner adorning the atrium and slipped off, only to be softly caught by a final banner, land on the ground without a scratch, and then briskly leave that place. It put Hong Kong movies to shame.
いくらネットがあるの知ってたったって、高さ200メートルの超高層だよ。もしも思い通りにならなかったら、今頃大変なことになってただろうや。
死んだら死んだで、それまでってことでもいいかなって思いまして。まあちょっとした運試しです。若気の至りってことで。
As though saying that she'd had enough of that topic, and shrugged coldly. So either this is after she saw Bernkastel, or this is like a previous time that she tried to jump off a roof. Seeing that, the old gentleman who was looking at the world below through a crack in the blinds cackled.
運試しときたか。いやはや、やっぱり金蔵さんのお孫さんだね。うんぷてんぷ、天の流れに命を預けてもケロリとしてるその度胸。会長も博打に平気で命を懸けられる人だったが、これも後ろ宮の血なのかね。やっぱりあんた、将来大物になるよ。悪いことは言わない。家出ごっこはこの辺で切り上げて、須磨寺の家に戻ったらどうだい？
お母さん、実家と仲が悪かったって聞いてます。お葬式で初対面の人の家になんて行きたくないです。
The Sumadetas are Mom's family. They're an old family from Kyoto, and compared to Mom's frank attitude, unbelievably strict. The only Sumadeta I'd been on good terms with was Grandpa, who was living apart from his family under the guise of retirement. Mom kept in touch with him, too, but she avoided the rest of the family completely, almost hostilely so. So when I went out to play with the Sumadeta family, it was always Grandpa's house I visited. When I was young, I didn't really understand it, but I hear that Grandpa was in an extremely weak position as a man who'd moved into his wife's family register, and his relationship with Grandma was also bad. You might even say that Grandma hated him and confined him to the house. It isn't hard to imagine that, because she had a soft spot for Grandpa alone. Mom was also hated by the Sumadetas. Since I was her daughter, they probably hated me quite a bit too. And yet they appeared for the first time at Mom's funeral, shamelessly going on about how big I'd gotten, like they could actually act like family after all this time. When Aunt Eva died, I would inherit all the wealth of the Yoshidamiya family. If that wasn't what they were after, there's no way they would have been able to say such disgusting words.
まあ、一人ぼっちになっちまって、自暴自棄になりたいエンジェちゃんの気持ちもわからなくもないな。
自暴自棄とかじゃないです。小うるさいエヴァおばさんもやっとくたばったんで、久しぶりにのびのびと散歩してるだけじゃないですか。
Okay, this is after, which is interesting. So it's interesting that they're still keeping up the even like the possibility that this world has like a logical interpretation too. So like the idea that she never actually went back in time or anything like that.
周りが大げさに騒ぎすぎなだけです。
Of course, everyone's after the vast Ushidamiya family wealth I bear. They must think that becoming my guardian means they'll be able to do as they please with that wealth. Just how many people have tried to get close to me, acting like they want to be a substitute parent.
エンジェちゃんも辛いことがあったら、俺でよかったらいつでも相談してな。エンジェちゃんのこと、実の孫みたいに思ってるんだからさ。
当面はノーサンキューということで。それより話を戻してください。
エンジちゃん、何度聞かれたって俺が隠してることは何もないよ。あの日の六軒島の唯一の生き残りが会長なんだ。その会長が何も語らずに言っちまった。俺だって何もわからないよ。全ては闇の中だ。
This old gentleman was one of the leaders who had been entrusted with the business group Ava had built up after she passed away. The one he called chairman was the former chairman, Ushidamiya Ava. His company once had friendly ties with Hideyoshi's business, and he'd had a close relationship with both Hideyoshi and Ava. For that reason, when Ava lost Hideyoshi, he became the only person to whom Ava might have let her true intentions slip. Whenever Ava's heart was torn by the loss of her family, whenever she took it out on Ange, he had acted as a buffer between the two, so although Ange didn't trust him, she found him a very easy person to question.
あの事件は、いや、事故か。事件なんて言っちまったら怒られちまうな。そりゃ俺も世間やワイドショーと同じ程度の疑問は持ったさ。
どうしてエヴァおばさんは事故当時、屋敷から2キロも離れたところにたった一人で？それも嵐の晩に。
当時、金蔵さんは次の跡継ぎに誰を選ぶかで迷われていた。表向きは長男のクラウスさんってことになってたんだが、クラウスさんはあまり信頼されていなかったんだ。
それで親兄弟4人の中から公平に跡継ぎを決めるため、碑文の謎というゲームじみた試練を課した。
それは表向きだな。おそらく金蔵さんは初めからエヴァさんを当主跡継ぎにするつもりだったんだ。長男が跡継ぎだという自らのルールを撤回してでも、クラウスさんと違い非常に勤勉で優秀だったエヴァさんに家を任せたかったんだ。碑文の謎を解いた者に家督を引き継ぐなどという新ルールは、クラウスさんから次期当主の肩書きを奪うためだけの茶番だったんだろうな。
I think it's worth taking note of the fact that they said that she was 2 kilometers away from the mansion. Now, clearly that could just be a lie that she made up, or it could refer to the fact that she was in the underground area with the gold, which could be 2 kilometers away from the mansion.
茶番ってどういう意味ですか？
あの碑文は誰にも解ける必要はなかったのさ。適当に刑事期間を経た後、その答えを与えるだけでいい。つまりそれこそが当主継承の証ってわけさ。
それはワイドショーでは言われていない話ですね。
まあ当主継承がうんぬんなんて話をしたら余計陰謀説が優勢になっちゃうからね。俺もバカじゃないからさ、誤解を招くようなことはわざわざ口にしないよ。
This was his theory. At that time, the Yoshida-miya family head, Kinzo, whose remaining life was announced to be short, was troubled by the problem of who was to succeed him. Normally, the successor would be fixed as the oldest son, Kraus, whom Kinzo had chosen himself. But in his later years, Kinzo began to think that Ava would make a more fitting family head. See, I don't think any of this is true. I think that he didn't even want a successor in the first place, and I think that he had a completely different intention for the epitaph. Maybe it could be that he really did believe in the witch. And the entire thing was made specifically for that. But, I don't know. However, Kinzo, who was stubborn even against himself, was stymied by the title of successor that he'd already given to Kraus, and he'd searched for an official stance by which he could skip over Kraus and select Eva as his successor. That official stance was the riddle of the epitaph. The primary successor was still Kraus, but there was a new rule, saying that if someone appeared who could solve the riddle, they would be chosen as the successor to the headship. Then, on what would probably be his final family conference, Kinzo told Eva the answer to that riddle himself. In short, it was the same as proclaiming that Eva herself was the successor.
エヴァさんはあの日、金蔵さんに呼ばれ、それを打ち明けられたんだ。そして、当主を引き継ぐため、当主だけが知る隠し館であるクワドリアンにエヴァさんを呼びつけたのだ。
で、一足早くその隠し館で待っていたエヴァおばさんは、そのおかげで事故の難を逃れたと。エヴァおばさんが全ての財産を奪うために事故を装ってみんなを殺し、自分だけ難を逃れただけかもしれない。
大衆氏はそう騒いでるな。だが俺はエヴァさんを信じてるよ。信ずるに足るポイントがいくつかあると思ってる。
例えば
今エンジェちゃんが指に通してるその後ろ宮家当主の指輪だよ。その指輪は金蔵さんが特別に作らせた世界に一つしかない指輪だ。そして今エンジェちゃんが指にしているものは間違いなくそれだと作った細工師も認めてる。
So that's true, but supposedly, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but it happened in the first episode, so it's probably true, but Kinzo threw the ring out the window, so I think that anybody could have just picked it up from wherever it fell. So that could have been Eva. The Yoshida-Maya family head's ring, that ring with the heft of gold and the one-winged seal on it, had a diamond arranged on a pedestal and felt both sturdy and reminiscent of the dark hobbies of the rich. Kinzo had worn that on his finger without removing it even for a moment. This man was saying that the fact Eva had it proved that Kinzo had acknowledged her as the successor.
その指輪を確かにエヴァさんが持つからこそ、そして実際にエヴァさんが優秀で、クラウスさんにはビジネスシーンでの数々の醜態が知られていたことを加味すると、エヴァさんの話は全くの作り話とは思えないんだ。
その指輪を奪うためにおじいさまを殺害した可能性だってあるけれど、そしてエヴァおばさんは何らかの細工をして事故に見せかけて一族を皆殺しにした。
She did not make it look like an accident. Nothing about that made it look like an accident. She silenced the police using money and bribes. That's all there is to it.
そうだな。大衆氏は財産の独り占めが目当てで一族を皆殺しにしたなんて言ってるようだな。確かにエヴァさんはここ一番では随分思い切ったこともしちゃう人だよ。あるいは後ろ宮家の財産を独り占めできるチャンスに生涯でただ一度の殺人を犯したかもしれない。だがね、俺はそうは思わない。
そう信ずるに足るポイントの2つ目は、
エヴァさんのご家族だよ。秀吉さんにジョージ君、エンジェちゃんはにわかには信じがたいだろうけど、エヴァさんはあれでかなり家族を大事にする人だったんだ。
True, part of me didn't want to believe it or acknowledge it, but I did understand vaguely. Aunt Eva certainly had been a person who highly treasured her family. See, right now, my working theory is that she was overcome with, like, emotions that she did not... She just wasn't able to control herself, and she totally regretted the actions of killing George and Hideyoshi. if she was the person who killed them. I don't think it was someone else who killed them. But I do think someone else was involved, and someone else probably killed Nanjo and the first 6 people. But I think that Eva is the one who killed George and Hideyoshi, just based on her reaction when she accidentally hurt Jessica, and she was like freaking out and saying like she was like really trying to convince herself that she didn't kill George. I don't know. It seemed really suspicious to me, but not in like a she's lying way, but in a she's deluding herself way, if that makes any sense. After all, the root of her twisted personality had been nothing more than the sadness of losing her beloved husband and son. After getting hit with her angry outbursts as she tried to distract herself from that pain, I have no feelings of sympathy at all. But it's not like I can't imagine how the incredible shock of losing her whole family must have changed her character.
家族を愛したエヴァおばさんが夫と息子を見捨てるわけがないと？
そうだ。もし本当にエヴァさんが犯人で一族を事故に見せかけて皆殺しにしたならば、夫と息子が絶対に生き残ってるはずなんだ。偶然自分の家族だけが隠し館にいたとへりくつをこねてね。もし秀吉さんとジョージ君も無事だったなら、さすがの俺でもエヴァさんの陰謀を疑ったろうよ。俺は秀吉さんの葬儀で見せたエヴァさんのあの号泣を演技だなんて到底思えんね。
I don't think it was an act either. I think if she killed him, she would be wailing even harder.
どっちも状況証拠的ですね。エヴァおばさんの潔白を物理的に示すには至らない。
それを言っちゃおしまいだよ。生き残ったのはエヴァさんのみ。その彼女がそれが真実だと言うんだからさ。
I wonder if there's any information in Maria's diary about what happened on Rokenjima. Because I know that in the first episode, all the information that people had about it was from Maria's diary, so there's that.
でも彼女の潔白は誰にも証明できない。
ああ、そうさ。そして彼女の犯行も誰にも証明できない。そして信ずるべきポイントの最後が警察だ。何しろ派手な事件だったからね。陰謀説を騒ぐ世論に後押しされて、警察が随分とエヴァさんを調べたはずさ。
It was easy to feel something unnatural about the claim that Eva had avoided the accident by coincidence, because she alone had escaped to a hidden mansion. Furthermore, at the time, Hideyoshi's company had been right in the middle of a takeover struggle, and in order to buy off the big stockholders, she'd wanted a large sum of cash. It shouldn't be too hard to find a motive there. But as a matter of fact, there had been nothing at all that implicated Eva as she went to the family conference. Nothing unnatural was found on her that could have been used to brutally murder her family and make it look like an accident. The servants who escaped harm by being off duty on that day also stated that they hadn't seen anything strange regarding anyone related to the event, Eva included. Putting all of that together, it could only be concluded that Ushiramiya Eva had headed to Rokonjima for a normal family conference without any change, and had encountered an accident.
警察があれだけ散々調べて事件性を見出すことができなかった。
How would they have possibly cleaned that up? Like, there's no way that they would not be able to tell that it was murder. So clearly, either the culprit, or actually Ava's the only survivor, so either Ava went around and cleaned up all the crime scenes somehow, or she bribed the police and, like, yeah, she just covered it all up. which I'm pretty sure they said, or they implied at least, that she did that.
警察がそう断じた。
It's just weird that they're having this conversation without knowing that, and dwelling so much on that point that we're pretty sure is irrelevant.
それで六軒島疑惑は決着じゃないのかな。
それは単に警察は事件性をそれは単に警察は事件性を
それを言い出したらキリがないな。悪魔の証明になっちまうよ。犯罪を暴くには証拠を見つければいい。でも無実を示すには何を見つけりゃいいんだい？消極的事実の証明は不可能だ。
エヴァおばさんが犯罪を犯したか否か、それを判断する材料が見つからないから、そのまま真相は迷宮入りということですね。
そうだな。エンジェちゃんの期待する言い方にするとそうなるな。エヴァさん自身にだって自分の無実は証明不能なのさ。あの島で不幸な事故があった。そしてたまたまエヴァさんが生き残った。しかもそれ以上のことは何もわからない。つまるところ唯一の生存者であるエヴァさんの話を信じられるか否かってことになるわけさ。俺は信じたよ。指輪の話や彼女の尊敬できる家族愛、そして葬儀で見せた涙、それらを加味して考えて彼女の話を信じようと思ったんだ。
でも私は信じない。指輪なんて奪う気なら方法はいくらでもあるだろうし、家族仲が本当に良かったかなんて誰にもわからない。葬儀の涙が本物かなんて証明不能。というか私はそもそもエヴァおばさんなんて大嫌いだから、私は彼女の話を信じようなんて思わない。
事件の真相をどう見るか。俺とエンジェちゃんで真っ向から対立しちまったな。俺たちに与えられてる情報は全く同じなのに全く異なる見解も持っちまう。こういうこと政治や経済でもよくあるんだ。同じ事業をやっても必ず評価は分かれちまう。どうしてかわかるかい？
いいえ。
愛があるかどうかさ。相手に愛を感じてるかどうかで物の見え方は全く違うってことなんだ。好きな人が貧しい人に施しをすれば尊敬できるだろう。でも嫌いな奴が施しなんて始めたら売名行為だとかばらまき行政だとか非難合々さ。何をしてもしなくても愛があれば感謝し、愛がなければ非難する。それが世の中ってもんなんだ。
I'm not sure I agree with this. I think that he's saying that given the same information, they would come to a different conclusion based on whether or not they have love for someone. But I feel like whether or not they have love for someone would be determined by the information that they have. So it's like you would find someone to be a worse person, or you would find someone to be like, yeah, like let's take the person donating to charity for an example. If you don't know anything about this person and you have no reason to think they're a bad person, then you might think, yeah, they're a good person for donating to charity. But if you do have experience with this person being bad in some way, then that's more information that you have that other people aren't privy to, and that colors your conclusion. So I don't think it's a matter of coming to the same conclusion or different conclusions with the same information. I think it's having different information and coming to different conclusions. I think that if everybody had literally the exact same memories and the exact same thoughts and the exact same information, they would always come to the same conclusion about everything 100% of the time.
エヴァおばさんのことを信じられるか信じられないか、それだけの違いってことですか？
彼女を疑う人間には彼女が何をしてもしなくてもそれは実に不自然に見えるだろうさ。逆もしかり。俺はね、世の中には真実なんてものはよっぽどのことがない限り存在しないんじゃないかと思うね。いや、仮にもし真実が存在したとしても、それを信じるか信じないかは、絶対性の宿らない真実なんて真実と呼べるのかい？エヴァさんが物理的なアリバイを示したとしても、君はそれを信じられたかい？
It's hard to counter that. I hate Aunt Ava, so I'll probably deny any information beneficial to her, and interpret any neutral information in a negative way. In other words, the truth is already decided inside me. So, just what in the world is this truth that I'm still searching for, unsatisfied?
そういうことさ。つまり、俺から何を聞こうとも、エンジェちゃんがエヴァさんを未だ疑っている以上、何を聞いても今更何も変わらないってことなのさ。少なくとも、今のエンジェちゃんじゃ、仮に未知の新事実を掴んだとしても、真相に至ることはできんと思うね。
私では真相に至れませんか？
だって、エンジェちゃんは、どんな新情報や新証拠が見つかったって、エヴァさんが犯人だってスタンスは変えないんだろう？ならこれ以上何を調べたって意味はないじゃないか。君の中の真相はすでに決まっているわけさ。だがもし、エンジェちゃんがそれを真相と思わずに、さらに奥深くの本当の真相にたどり着きたいと願うなら、一個だけもう話したつもりなんだけどな。なんだかわかるかい？
愛ですか？よく意味がわからないです。
エンジェちゃんは今、エヴァさんを犯人だと仮定し、ものを考えている。でもそれじゃあ片目でものを見てるようなものなんだ。
I think the word that he's looking for here is not love, but empathy.
片目じゃ、どんなに目を凝らしても、ものを立体的に見ることはできないだろう？
I think the idea is that he's saying that you should try and put yourself in Ava's shoes and think about why she did what she did, and not just assume that she's just a demon, like a demon incarnate, and not just like a human with human goals and human interests.
だから、もう一つ目がいるんだ。もちろん、今の目とは別の立場での。
エヴァおばさんが犯人ではない。あるいは本当に事故であるという仮定にも基づいて物事を見ろと。
そうそう、その通り。物事を考えるときには異なる立ち位置から見るようにするんだ。そうじゃないと本当のことは何もわからない。新聞だってそうさ。一つの新聞だけじゃその記事を書いた記者の目線一つでしかものが見られない。複数の新聞を読むことで初めて立体的かつ冷静に分析ができることもある。
And it's just like she said, with the multiple angles of attack against Beatrice. You've got Battler coming in from one side with one perspective, and you've got Ange coming in from another side with another perspective. So that's another way of interpreting that, what she said. I'm just not sure if this takes place after her saying that or before her saying that. Or if time has any meaning in relation to when she said that. I don't know.
愛がなければ真実は見えない。いいね。
Maybe he thought it interesting that such a flashy phrase would pop out of his mouth. For a while, he laughed, looking pleased. At the same time, he was telling me that he'd said everything he knew, and that it was about time to leave. I understood that and got to my feet.
俺にもエンジェちゃんの気持ちが分かったよ。あんたが納得するようにしばらく好きにしたらいい。当時、君は6歳だった。わけがわからないうちに家族を失い、未だに心の整理がつかない気持ち、よくわかるんだ。真相はわかるかもしれない、わからないかもしれない。エヴァさんは犯人かもしれないし、犠牲者かもしれない。エンジェちゃんが信じる真実が見つけられるのを祈ってるよ。若いうちの旅も貴重な経験かもしれない。
ありがとうございます。お忙しいところお邪魔して本当にすみませんでした、お好みさん。
I think we just got a new profile. Oh yeah, we did. So, Ushidamiya Eva, after being repeatedly hospitalized because of psychogenic stress, she has already died in the world of 1998 due to acute heart failure. So, psychogenic stress, that could be caused by guilt from having killed her husband and son, and not wanting to. So, I don't know. She lived her later years in isolation with no one to understand her, and is the only survivor from Rokonjima. The media gave her the name Queen of Suspicion. She continued to make reckless expansions of her business just like Kinzo had done in the past, which earned her many enemies. By her later years, she was doing it merely to harass people as if she enjoyed it rather than for financial gain. And it was all done for the sake of Ange, who would eventually succeed her. Then we've got Okanogi Tetsuro, a leading member of the Ushidamiya group. Between the time of Eba's death and Ange succeeding her position, management of the group has fallen to core members like him in her stead. However, Ange has no desire to inherit that role, leaving the group on the brink of fracturing internally and putting Okanogi in a difficult position. He was once the president of a foodstuffs distribution company and had an intimate relationship with Hideyoshi's business. Because of that long-lasting association, Eva trusted him particularly, and he was appointed to an important post within the group. Then we've got Ushidamiya Ange. Even after throwing herself off the top of a skyscraper, she miraculously survived unharmed. After that mystical experience, she threw away everything and went on a journey by herself to learn her past. Can she break through Beatrice's magic from her position 12 years in the future? Alright. So, let's get back to it.
いいっていいって。これからどうするんだ。
まあ適当に。事件関係者やその道の専門家ってやつに何人かアポを入れてるので、そちらを当たるつもりです。
そうか。納得のいく答えが見つかるといいな。
At that time, Company President Okanogi's secretary came in, handing him a memo over his shoulder. He read it, then looked between it and my face.
エンジちゃん、旅に出てごらんと言った矢先で申し訳ないんだが、耳に入れといた方がいい情報だ。君、今だいぶやばいらしいね。
私の金を狙ってる連中ですか？だからお金なんてくだらない。
だからって財産丸ごと売っ払って全額を福祉に寄付しようなんてしたら、エンジェちゃんの財産で川残用してる連中が目ん玉飛び出しちまうよ。
ああ、スマデラの家ですか。あいつら何を偉そうに保護者面して。
I haven't forgotten Aunt Eva. There's no way I'll put myself in the care of the Sumadera family. They probably want to, as Aunt Eva often threatened in the past. Cut off my arms and legs, throw me in a warehouse, and suck the Ushidamiya family's wealth dry.
スマデラ家の使いがここに来るそうだ。君を引き渡せと。いやいや、保護したいと言ってるな。
使いって？
君の叔母だよ。キリエさんの妹さんだ。君のことを妹のように思っていると前に話してたな。
ご冗談。せめて孫と言ってよ、あのババア。
文脈から見るに君の意思は聞く気がないようだ。地下2階の駐車場に車が待たせてある。行きなさい。
スマデラの家から引き渡せって言われてるんでしょ？いいの？私を行かせて。
エンジェちゃんはきっと将来大物になるよ。この貸しはその時の出世払いってことにしとこう。行きな、早く。
After bowing silently and deeply, Ange left that place at a dash. After watching her leave, the female secretary straightened her glasses and whispered,
スマデラ家からは足止めをしておくように言われていますが、行かせてよろしいのですか？
足止めならしたよ、十分に。それに間に合わないのはスマデラの過失だね。エンジェちゃんには逃げろと言ったし、スマデラにはエンジェちゃんが来てるよと通報したし、捕まっても捕まらなくても双方に恨まれない。世の中はすべからく愛だね。大丈夫、逃げおせるよ。何しろ追ってまくためにビルから飛び降りられる子だからね。
Okanogi looked down again through a crack in the blinds, muttering, "Nope, definitely couldn't do it." Ange wasn't a fool herself. She got off the elevator, but on the third floor. A taxi in the second level of the basement. That's so neat and clean that I don't like it. It's probably better to refuse for now. But my enemies aren't fools either. They're probably waiting in the first floor lobby as well as the underground parking lot. It's such a massive building, instead of getting anxious and escaping outside, maybe it's better to stay inside and wait it out. No, that's useless. If they get their hands on a security room in a modern building like this, I'll have nowhere to run to. This entire building is like a massive dead end. The third floor is the business floor. A young girl like me will clearly stick out. Trying not to stand out any more than I had to, I walked at a brisk pace, searching for an emergency exit. It'd be perfect if that staircase was an outside one. I found the door to the emergency exit. After opening that heavy door, I found the outside staircase I'd hoped for. I bumped into a man who looked like an employee skipping work and smoking a cigarette. After glaring at me, he quickly crushed out his cigarette and went away. It looked like there was no one below. If I'm going to escape, now's my only chance. Just when I had thought that, a black car slid right under me and came to a sudden stop with an incredible squealing of the tires. Judging by the sound of tires, it seemed that they had several other allies and that one of them had come here to block this path.
かすみおばさん、やるじゃない。非常口から出てくるメイにまで送迎車を送るなんて。
The doors of the car were forcefully opened, and 3 black-suited men jumped out, looking up at the emergency staircase. Crap, our eyes met.
12、マルタイ発見。北西側非常階段3階。応援遅れ。エンジェ様、そこを動かれませんように。
The 3 of them began to clamber up the emergency exit. They've already announced that they plan to be rough. This is pretty bad. As long as I don't stop breathing, they've probably been ordered to grab me, no matter what, even if they gotta rip out one of my arms. Their heavy, wild footsteps became a helix and began to rise from the lower floors, getting closer. In the entrance lobby of the building, a woman with 7 black-suited guards behind her advanced at a leisurely pace. Seeing this ostentatious entrance, the security guards for the building ran up to them, asking if they had an appointment.
これだから東京人は名乗らせなければ相手の格もわからない。
失礼いたしました。当社ではご来賓の皆様にはフロントにてセキュリ 下がれ下船が。私はお前たちの社長に呼ばれてきたんだよ。おこのぎ哲郎を呼んでおいで。呼びつけておいて出迎えもないとはね。これだから東京人は。
これは失礼。ようこそ後宮グループへ。須磨寺かすみさん。
Sumadera Kasumi, daughter of the declining noble family Sumadera, Ushinomiya Kirie's younger sister. She despises her sister, and by extension Ange as well. She's the opposite of the freewheeling person Kirie once was, and holds appearance in high regard, possessing a strong ambition for philanthropy. However, this is all just a craving for the limelight caused by the complex she has towards her sister. There are several opposing factions in the Sumadera family, and they're constantly engaged in a secret feud over who will control the vast wealth Ange holds. Okay, this is getting, like, way more elaborate than I thought. I actually figured that the scene with this guy would be kind of short, and that this would be over way sooner. So, I think we're actually going to stop here. But yeah, it's actually kind of crazy how we've got, like, an entire separate story now going on that's, like, way beyond the scope of anything that has been revealed before. And now we're, like, moving on to, like, an entire new story. And an entirely new story that has, like, its own characters and its own intrigue and all that. Which is, like, way more than anything I expected. That might even be, like, the entirety of what this entire episode is about. So, that's interesting. So we will see what that's all about next time. So until then, take care, and I will see you then.